This is a Star City News special report. Now sit back and relax. This is Love in Lincoln.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jack Housingay.
I'm Sydney Boyd. This is a Star City News special report, Love in Lincoln.
Today we'll look at love from all angles, but first, do you know the definition of love? For more on that, we'll hand it off to love correspondent Stephen Smith.
According to Webster's dictionary, love is a strong affection for another, arising out of kinship or personal ties.
I would describe love as unconditional and loving each other without exception.
I think love is sort of a giddy feeling, wanting to be by that person all the time.
Oh, I don't know. I think still kissing you after the morning and you have really bad morning breath. That's the definition of love to me.
Someone who you want to spend all your time with and never get annoyed with them. They put up with everything that you do.
Why don't we do all those things together?
But don't you have to work?
Work? Now. Today is going to be a holiday.
But you don't want to do a lot of silly things.
Don't I?
Love. It's hard to find, even with dating apps like Tinder and Bumble.
You're absolutely right, Sydney, especially if you're meeting up with somebody you've never met before.
And blind dates can be so intimidating, so we decided to help by setting up with two strangers on a date.
Love correspondent Karina Hernandez takes us to the table and gives us an exclusive look at what happened.
That's right, Jack and Sydney. I set two strangers up on a blind date, one from Omaha, one from Lincoln. 22-year-old Christy and 21-year-old Kellen got a chance at a true love connection here at this coffee spot.
I've never been on a blind date.
Well, I've never been through one until now, so that's probably the first thing. Not sure really what to expect. It's interesting because I only know the person's first name. That's the only thing I know. I don't know what she looks like, never met her before, or anything like that. So I think the whole unknowing part is the freaky thing.
Why are you still single?
I don't know, man. You tell me, because I don't know. Maybe I'm just not looking at the right people.
Yeah, excited, a little nervous, a little apprehensive, but I think you have to be that way because it means you care and you want to make sure that it goes well.
I feel like a reality TV star.
Nice to meet you, Christy. I'm Kellen.
We'll make sure to check back in with Christy and Kellen a little bit later in the show, but Sydney, they're on a date. You never know. Maybe they could find true love in one another. So I gotta ask, have you ever been in love?
You know, I am currently in love, and it is the best feeling.
See, I'm not sure I've ever had that feeling. Sometimes it's just hard to tell. So maybe our resident love doctor, Haley Storr, can help clear things up.
Hello, everyone. I'm love doctor Haley Storr. We've seen what the Webster Dictionary says about love, but as humans, we know it's not that simple. Here's what the experts say.
There's the romantic love, which is more an eros love. We tend to identify that more with sexual love. And then there is agape love, which is really the highest form of love, and that is the love that comes from God.
I'm also just a girl, standing in front of a boy, asking him to love her.
Falling. And there's only one person that makes me feel like I can fly. That's you.
You complete me. And I just had...
Shut up. Just shut up. You had me at hello.
The art of the pickup is tricky. You don't want to be too forward, but at the same time, you got to let the person know you're interested.
And there seems to be a difference between men and women, right?
Oh, absolutely. Love correspondent Bree Samani experienced Lincoln's bar scene and the different pickup tactics that exist.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Sarah Firestone. I'm gonna be a videographer and a wing woman tonight.
I'm the player tonight, so I'm going to be trying to pick up a few different kinds of guys. I'm going to go for a variety. It's going to be interesting. I'm probably going to use a few different pickup lines and a couple different ways to pick up guys.
My name is Emma Olson. I'm going to help out with videography as well as helping her hit on some guys.
So off we went.
Can I get a Jack and Coke, please?
It started with just one drink.
Hi, my name's Bree. I saw you looking over there and I thought you were pretty attractive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird?
Yeah. What about you? You're from Lincoln?
Yeah. Well, I'm not from here. I'm flying all over.
Not once did Bree get turned down.
I'm feeling awesome. So far, success. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Bree took picture after picture and got a number from every guy she talked to.
Fred? Fred Flintstone? Great.
All in all, picking up men was no problem for this girl. I'm correspondent Emma Olson for Love in Lincoln.
Discretion is the name of the game.
Veronica Corningstone and I had sex, and now we are in
Came over for breakfast because he's your new boyfriend?
Yeah, he came from his house, drove over to our house because he thought it would be fun to have breakfast with us, so he drove his car from his house to our house to have breakfast.
Because he likes breakfast so much.
This love guru to my right hit the streets to find out the truth about hooking up. Hooking up used to mean let's meet for coffee, but now it usually means sex. Jack, you got an earful about what students think about one-night stands.
You're right, I did. Love correspondent Kian Oscarpour and I talked to a few people around campus and asked some pretty personal questions.
What are your overall opinions on one-night stands?
I think they're awesome.
I think they're fine if you kind of know the person. Like, I think if it's super random, then that's a little iffy.
I'm more of a relationship type of person. I think that there should be feelings involved.
Since we're in college, I think it's an okay thing if you're not really looking for a relationship.
Have you ever had a one-night stand?
I personally have not, and I don't plan on it.
I've never had one, but I've had friends who have, and I just think it's not right.
I've had one, literally one. It was uncomfortable for me.
I've had a few in the past, but it's not something that I would ever actively seek out. It's just meh to me.
Do you think most people look for casual sex over relationships?
In college, yeah, I'd say so, just because it's not as much of a commitment.
I mean, people really hype it up a lot, so I guess when the opportunity comes, some people just think I'm not gonna let it slip by.
Believe it or not, around 70% of sexually active 12 to 21-year-olds reported having uncommitted sex within the last year.
In a study done by the American Psychological Association of more than 800 college students, 26% of women and 50% of men reported feeling positive after having a one-night stand.
However, some define their experience as negative, with 25% saying it was emotionally difficult and another 21% saying they lost self-respect as a result of their one-night stand.
So one-night stands could go good or bad, similar to blind dates.
And it's about that time to check back in with Christy and Kellen.
So, tell me about yourself.
can't remember.
Oh boy.
I just asked.
I just ask.
Yeah, I'm a little wimp. Hide behind social media.
I just talk to people.
Yeah, you know, I do that too. In case I search them up and we have mutual friends. I'm ready. Boom. Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
If I'm like connecting with the person or, you know, like we have, I don't know, yeah. I'm just connecting. If there's not a connection, I don't want to like.
Yeah, if it went bad, I'm like, oh, you know, that's, yeah. No, I wouldn't. Well, I enjoyed meeting you.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you.
Absolutely.
Online dating, to sign up or not to sign up. It's becoming more and more popular, replacing traditional ways of meeting people. But does online dating actually result in a long-lasting relationship or just hookups? Here's Love correspondent Keon Asgampour.
Online dating used to be frowned upon, even considered dangerous. Not anymore. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar business. More than 40 million plus Americans tried online dating. A third of that group got married. David and Annette met on eHarmony, and that match led to 10 years of marriage.
My mom is the one that encouraged me to sign up for eHarmony because her friend had met somebody and wasn't interested in going to the bars.
I remember sitting there, it was after work one night and it was like 10 o'clock at night and the commercial came on. I'm like, hell, why not? Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens.
First, it was Match.com, then eHarmony, and OkCupid for couples looking for something a little more serious. Now, apps like Tinder and Bumble cater to those wanting something a little different.
They're not going to admit it though, but a lot of people are using it to kind of hook up to people.
Anyone I know that uses it, usually just to hook up. But
There was once where a couple of guys from the soccer team all matched the same girl and messaged her the exact same thing, and well, we're still waiting to hear back.
Dr. Joni Ramsey says that hookup culture and dating sites may be unhealthy.
I've seen them cause a lot of pain to people. I've seen that lapse into very addictive behaviors where, again, we're treating sex as just a very casual thing and we're not saving it for a high level of commitment in the relationship.
This is Seth Lindocken and Hannah Peters, a recently engaged couple who met through a dating app.
We met on Bumble December 2016, and our first date was at the Happy Raven shortly thereafter. After sort of the usual initial, hi, how are you, how's it going, I think the first place where we bonded was with respect to our height.
Kind of the same for me too, and when he actually had a personality and could carry on a conversation. I told my parents, we started dating like end of December, beginning of January, and my birthday's in March, and around my birthday I told my parents, I was like, he's the one.
Yeah. I'm correspondent Keon Asgarpour for Love and Lincoln.
Public displays of affection are commonly known as PDA.
We've all seen it, we may have done it, and it's kind of hard to look away.
Love correspondent Sarah Firestone had no trouble catching people in the act.
Sometimes it's tough for two people in love to keep their hands off of each other, even in public. Whether you're walking down the street on college campus or downtown, most of us have witnessed a couple engaging in some sort of public displays of affection, or PDA. According to Urban Dictionary, PDA can be seen in the form of kissing, touching, groping, or licking. But not everyone finds this so appealing. College students at Sewanee University were asked if they had ever engaged in prolonged kissing or making out in public, and about 2/3 of them said they had not. Lincoln therapist Joni Ramsey says PDA could be a result of lines becoming blurred as couples become more relaxed.
As our value for ourselves decreases, we tend to be less smart or less intelligent about setting boundaries.
College is a place where we're supposed to fall in love, find our soulmate. And while some do, others aren't as lucky. And some couples like to make it clear that they are in love and show everybody around them, but not everyone wants to see it.
So I took to the streets here at UNL to see what everybody else thinks of it.
A little goes a long way.
It's like uncomfortable, but I mean, like, if you want to do it, like, I guess do it. It's just kind of weird to do in front of people.
I think it's fine, as long as it's not too extravagant.
It's kind of disgusting.
So if you're lucky enough to be in love, that's totally cool and all. Just maybe try not to display it for the whole entire world. But if you're going to, here's a little PDA etiquette for you to remember. 1, stop when it's uncomfortable. 2, please do not flash skin. And 3, watch your reputation. I'm correspondent Sarah Firestone for Love in Lincoln.
Sydney, I may not know much about love, but one thing I do know is that it isn't constrained by shape or by size.
Or by the color of your skin. Love correspondent Emmanuel Sanchez Mora has more on the diversity of love in Lincoln.
In 1959, only 4% of America approved of interracial love. Now it's more than 87%. This, according to Gallup.
We have to remind ourselves that less than 60 years ago, it still was illegal.
And this is exactly how it was back in 1967.
In here? What you doing in bed with that woman?
I'm his wife.
That's no good here.
Americans usually think of a black and a white partner when the term interracial couple is mentioned. However, they don't all look like that.
We're familiar with our culture and we're familiar with people of our culture. And to get to know someone of a different race and just how they process, how they're raised, it's very attractive. It's very attractive.
Yeah, me of course he is. I believe that also can be a part of that, cause but what I can mention also about that is in the beginning can be hard.
Rodrigo and Cassandra say it's not the looks, it's their connection that matters.
It's finds new ways to just help me in anything, asking if I need help with my homework even though he has no idea what it's about, or driving me places because I'm hungry because I've been studying all day, or just surprising me with new ways to just serving me constantly, even when sometimes I don't feel like I deserve it because I can be so angry.
The LGBT community loves in Lincoln too.
Generally, if you look at long-term relationships and marriages for LGBT individuals, it follows a heterosexual kind of pattern where individuals will marry within their own race. White couples will marry other white individuals.
Derek has his own interracial stories about dating in Lincoln as a gay man.
Me being a black person, have been fetishized and sought after because I am black by specifically white men within Lincoln. And it is the weirdest experience because they really lust after you because you're black, because of my hair.
I'm Emmanuel Sanchez Mora reporting for Love in Lincoln.
For my best friend has won the best one.
There's spring, summer, winter, and fall. But there might be one season we are forgetting about. I'm talking about wedding season. It is said that October is one of the most popular times to get married. As a videographer, I had the opportunity to witness many people saying, "I do."
I'm one of those who had been envisioning my wedding since, I was a little girl, and walking down the aisle with my dad, and, everybody standing, and just me and Anthony having that moment where, like, everybody will hopefully we're gonna be surrounded by so many people, but looking down the aisle and, just really narrowing in on Anthony and I.
From so early on, you became such a big part of my life, my dreams, and my future. I love your family, and I love how your family loves mine. When I look at you, I see home. And so, in front of all these people, I promise to choose you. I choose you when things get hard. I will choose you no matter where our careers go. I'll choose you in the good times and bad.
You make this your bride.
I think more than anything too, with him I just feel so safe and so protected and so loved all the time.
Like, I gotta kiss this girl. She is beautiful. I'm really into her. I'm liking her, and I just remember kissing her. And then afterwards, I was just kind of sitting there, and I'm sure if it was a cartoon, my hair would have been blown back. But I just remember being like, wow.
Wedding bells ring approximately 2.4 million times a year. The average age to get married for a woman is 29 years old. For men, 31. Check your bank accounts, because the average cost of a wedding is more than $35,000. Today, 26% of marriages are in a church. That's down 15% since 2009.
We love each other. Come on, man. We love each other.
Done! I don't deserve this. I really do not deserve this. I deserve somebody who gives a shit.
It's not easy for me to admit that I've been standing in the same place for 18 years.
Well, I've been standing with you. I hate you. I hate you. Why don't you just go? Get out! Leave! Go!
I wish I knew how to quit you. Why don't you?
But mostly I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
Unfortunately, happily ever after is not how all stories end. While we all want that bliss, sometimes the princess just doesn't end up with her prince. Love correspondent Cindy Boyd sat down with a relationship expert to see why things just don't always work out.
We've been told for decades now that half of all marriages end in divorce. And while that's sort of true, here are what the statistics tell us. Researchers have found that the rate of divorce in the U.S. actually peaked at about 40% around 1980 and has been declining ever since. The probability of a first marriage lasting at least a decade is about 70% for men and women. The probability that they would make it 20 years was more than 50%. Today, our picture of divorce is much more complicated. It's one that changes based on your education level, your income, location, and a whole bunch of other factors. Dr. Joni Ramsey has experience with youth and adults at Monarch Counseling in Lincoln. Her specialties include women's issues, relationship conflicts, trauma and loss, shame and codependency, abuse, and sex and love. She sat down with us to talk about the trends that she's seen in her patients and what she thinks the issues are that are causing divorce.
There's just a basic skill set that involves communication that people are really deficient in.
Although divorces happen, Jack, some folks can keep their love alive no matter what.
You're right, Sydney. In fact, less than 50% of all marriages today actually end in divorce. Couples are beating the odds now more than they ever have before. Here's Love correspondent Lee Marion.
The glow Bill saw in Marie 41 years ago has the same shine today. Bill and Marie Blair spend every day together.
And he was saying, where are you from? And so I had mentioned that I was from New York, and he said, oh, well, then I want to meet a girl from New York.
So the farmer boy from Kansas stopped at nothing.
He would send me flowers.
To bringing
Valentino's pizza.
And of course,
and then he would bring treats.
It wasn't long before the two were ready for marriage.
I said, do you want to get married or something? I didn't get down on one knee, I didn't have a ring.
A ring, getting down on one knee, these two kids were too cool for that. After picking their ring and a nice steak dinner, the two headed off.
We got married in her church on Long Island and
back in a one-bedroom place and doing what newlyweds do best.
Like I say, there were the arguments and there were the yelling and the screaming and the fighting.
Of course, there were the arguments for the Blairs, but it never lasted long.
Oh yeah, it's the romantic. It's the Valentine's days, it's the dinners, it's the kisses, it's the love. We'll sit there and say love is 50-50. I don't believe that. It's 100-100.
That love for one another has joined the Blairs at more than just their vows.
no matter what all goes through the day, he says never go to bed mad. And I don't know, it's been 41 years and hopefully it'll be a lot more.
As a Vietnam veteran and a Spanish teacher, the most unlikely of paths crossed in 1975 for these two.
I have got to say that he's been my rock, though. He was always there for me.
Bill and Marie Blair have been celebrating holidays here at their home for over 40 years. They've been taking their kids on walks at Pioneers Park and enjoying an occasional coffee at the mill. One thing's for sure, though, is that if Bill and Marie are doing anything, they're doing it together.
Yeah, I'm just lucky to come back.
The days of 10 over the speed limit and hitting the dance floor are behind them, but one thing will always be the same. Bill holds the door for Marie, and they will walk hand in hand together.
Remember that blind date we showed you earlier between Christy and Kellen? Well, we saw how they met, we saw the date happen, but now it's over.
And I've got to wonder, Jack, do you think they made a love connection? Let's check and see.
It was interesting. I think it went pretty well. And we didn't have a lot of time to get to know each other. But again, it was interesting. It went probably smoother than I had originally thought.
It was nice. There was no awkward pauses or just a moment where I have to think really quick about a question to ask, or he was asking questions about me, so that was nice.
I really enjoyed talking at the front part and getting to know each other and about her and what, how we all think and stuff like that.
I mean, I don't mind getting a drink with him and getting to know him, but seems like a good guy, good friend.
Would you consider going on a second date?
Yeah, why not? Minus the cameras, more food.
I am sure. At this point, it doesn't bother me.
I'm correspondent Karina Hernandez for Love and Lincoln.
This has been a Star City News special report, Love and Lincoln.
We'll leave you with this quote from Franklin P. Jones.
Love doesn't make the world go round.
Love is what makes the ride worthwhile.
Remember, there's someone out there for everyone, so never give up.
For Star City News, I'm Sydney Boyd.
And I'm Jack Housingay. We'll see you next time.
What is your definition of love?
It's kind of if you would put the other person first.
Hard to find. Stronger feelings for someone.
Two people having an intense friendship almost.
When you care about someone and they care about you back.